It's Ohio State versus Washington. Third quarter, the Huskies kick on fourth down, and here comes the standout play of the game. Don Sutherin gathers it in.
A native of Empire, Ohio, defensive back and place kicker Don Sutherin made headlines when he kicked the game-winning 34-yard field goal in the 1958 Rose Bowl, and his Ohio State Buckeyes won the NCAA National Championship.
The small town that I was from was right in the Ohio Valley. And a lot of football players went into the college ranks and the pros from around where I lived. And my brother took me to the Cleveland Browns game when I was about 10 years old. And coming home, I said to my brother Bob, I said, I'm going to be a pro football player someday. And he kind of laughed and said, yeah, right.
Sutherin was drafted by the National Football League's New York Giants later that year, but started his professional career with the Canadian Football League's Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Woody Hayes was the head coach at Ohio State University. He came down to watch us play my senior year, the last game of the season, against Wintersville, Ohio. And I guess the Lord was with me because I scored 4 touchdowns. And Woody, unbeknownst to me, came down with his assistant coach, Gene Feckerty, to my house to see me. Well, I took my girlfriend out that night, and I had to have the car back at home at midnight. Well, when I got there, my mom used to make me a pumpkin pie after every home game. The pie was gone. So I woke her up. I said, Mom, where's my pumpkin pie? She says, Woody Hayes and Gene Feckerty were here from Ohio State. They ate your pie, and you're going to Ohio State. And I had offers from all over the place, but I'll tell you what, I would never change my decision or her decision.
After 1 year with the Cats, Sutherin returned to the States to play with the Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, in 1960, the 5'10", 193-pounder would return to the Steel City to resume a stellar 12-year career in the CFL.
I had a friend of mine from Ohio State that went up to Hamilton to play. His name was Joe Canavino. Well, I saw Joe in Cleveland at the end of the season, and he was talking about money and everything. Joe was making $18,000 more than me in Canada, and I was in the NFL. So I said, I'll see you guys later.
Well, the one good thing about Sudsy, as we like to call him, is, you know, he's a long-time defensive coach that has really had a tremendous amount of success in the league.
He was very, very bright as a defensive coordinator.
He played havoc with us because he was so smart and so intelligent on how he really designed things that he was kind of the highest level to aspire to as far as running defenses was. And that was my first real taste before I got to know him, of course, as my own coach in Hamilton.
Bring his knowledge to Canada and then give back to Canadians, including myself and a bunch of other young Canadian coaches that probably wouldn't have had a chance if it wasn't for him.
Sutherin played 7 more years in Hamilton before a 3-year stint in Ottawa and 1 year with Toronto to close out his Hall of Fame career.
The longer I played, the more I knew after I got done playing football, I was going to go into the coaching profession, which I did.
Following the '66 season, Sutherin was part of a blockbuster 8-player trade with Edmonton, but he refused to report to the Eskimos, citing business interests in Hamilton.
I had 58 interceptions. I scored, I think it was 4 or 5 touchdowns off of my interceptions.
I think for the most part, he was part of the team that brought Hamilton its last Grey Cup in 1999. He was our defensive coach, him alongside Ron Lancaster's head coach.
Sutherin played in 8 Grey Cup games, winning 4, including the 1963 and 65 titles with the Tiger Cats.
I know he played for a couple other CFL teams, but he always told me, don't tell anybody that. You know, I'm a Tiger Cat and always will be.
I have so much respect for this city because the people are good, hard-working people, and they love their sports, they love their hockey, they love their football.
Sudsy almost is the epitome of what Hamilton's all about. He's tough, you know, he was undersized, He made it work. He was an impact player. He's an impact coach. He was a figurehead.
Sudsy was also Hamilton's head coach from 1994 to 1997. Don Sutherin was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 1992. His name was added to the Tiger Cats Wall of Honor in 2008. The Hamilton Sports Hall of Fame welcomes Don Sutherin.